This podcast could potentially have adult language, adult themes, definitely drinking, and possibly the possibility of sexual content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Drinking with Authors, the literary briefs edition. I'm your host, Erica Lance. My co-host today is the fantastic Bo Lake, and our guest today is Cathleen Davies. Woo! Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's talk about what we're drinking. I put way too much gin in this. Wow. Like not even remembering what I'm supposed to do anymore. It's fine. So I am drinking strawberry peach juice with gin. Which a friend of mine gave me strawberry peach juice. Probably should have mixed it with champagne, but I mixed it with gin instead. What's up? Okay, Bo, what are you drinking?
I have now moved on to this Blue Moon, which is delicious.
Like it matches your hair.
Always.
Like all the drinks that match your hair. Kathleen, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking this now disturbingly light bottle of cheap Merlot. I'm on my third or fourth glass, and I'm definitely feeling it. Yeah.
I fully appreciate knocking off an entire bottle of wine when I'm on this podcast, so I'm with you. Okay, first question. What is your favorite book of all time?
Catch-22 by Joseph Heller.
Oh, wow. Why? I love that book, but why?
I think it's genius. I think when I first read it, I was about 16, and the idea that you could have so many characters, but they were all well-rounded and hilarious, and plots that interlink so effortlessly that it was a surprise when you found the connections between them. Humor that was that well done, because it's the kind of humor, it's not like, oh, just a funny situation. It's something that's been meticulously set up in advance so that when it happens, you're almost just laughing at the absurdity of it. Oh, I just think it's brilliant. It'll make you laugh and cry. The death of Snowden was one of the most heart-wrenching things I've ever read. The chapter on Major, to this day, one of my all-time favorite characters in anything ever, because he's just so sad. Like, yeah, I think it's one of my favorite books of all time, for sure.
Very cool. What about your least favorite book of all time?
Oh my god. So it's Jack Kerouac, On the Road. I've got a bit of a thing about this. I've always having to go at my mate Carl for it, because he actually loves Kerouac, even though he acknowledges that he's problematic, and he needs me to stop having to go at him about liking Kerouac. But I just think it's not edited. I think it's rushed. I think basically it's a privileged white lad knocking about America for ages, being super racist and misogynistic, and then being like, travel, wanderlust, and at the end they're all sleeping with like underage Mexican children. They're just like, oh, what a wonderful world we live in. I just think it's crap. I think it needs an editor. I think everyone tells me his other books are better, but I wrote a post about it on Facebook one time where I read it when I was 16, and I hated it so much that I was always getting in arguments about it, especially in English seminars. And then I reread it after I traveled, and I'd been to China and I'd been to Spain, and I was right all along. It was still shit. So like, you know, I just can't stand it. I think it's so smug, and I think it's everything that's wrong with white male writers. Because my favorite book is by Joseph Heller, so it's not like I'm completely biased, but I think, God, it's just dire, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, Bo. Look at me, not monopoly.
Who is your favorite author of all time?
Oh my God, Virginia Woolf, I think. Oh, so I've actually got like this gnarly Virginia Woolf tattoo. Can I show it? I don't know. Maybe you can see. This is just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Virginia Woolf. I think she's an absolute diamond. The best of the best, isn't she? I mean, it's bad because I've gone on about how problematic John Kerouac is, and of course she's ridiculously problematic as well. But like, just an absolute icon in modernism. The way that like once you get into stream of consciousness, it's like you're not even reading. You're just like flowing along this minds of all these people, and yeah, an amazing writer. I think it's incredible. The Waves, definitely one of my faves.
Very cool. What's your favorite snack while you're writing?
Oh, favorite snack? All right, that's what I'm answering. Baby bells. Big on cheese.
Ooh.
Big on cheese. real fanatic.
Very cool. Sorry, Bo, go ahead.
Least favorite author.
Apparently Jack Kerouac.
Well, that was least
I've only
favorite
read the wrong
book.
book. I've only read the wrong book, so I couldn't possibly comment. I mean, oh, you know what?
Besides Jack Kerouac.
Look, because the thing is, I'll read one book and I don't like it, and then I'm not going to read any more. So I remember someone recommended that I read Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead, and I did. I read it because I kept thinking there was something that I wasn't getting in it. There was something that I was like missing, and then I got to the end of the book and I was like, no, she's literally saying that like architecture is more important than homeless people. Like that's the point of the book. That's it. That's the great message. And I just thought, oh God, that's absolutely ludicrous. And I think she's one of those that's been kind of like taken by the right wing as a bit of an icon to justify cruelty and selfishness and capitalism. So maybe Ayn Rand, maybe not. But you know, there's probably loads of people like, you know, there's probably some underground indie writer who, if I met him, I'd be like, God, they're a real dick. Like, so I don't know. I couldn't possibly say who my least favorite writer is.
Who's outside of Virginia Woolf, who's an author, dead or alive, that you would like to have lunch with?
Ooh, to have lunch with. That's a very different question, because a lot of the writers that I love, I think would probably be horrible to have lunch with. I mean, my first thought when I was like, another writer that I love, I was like, oh, Sylvia Plath. And then I was like, to have lunch with, cried, no. I'm trying to think, oh, who's fun? Who's like really, really fun and funny, who writes fantastic books? I just can't really think of an example. Of course, there's a million, but I don't know. Maybe Edgar Allan Poe or someone like that. Somebody that's just like so much of a character that they're almost a caricature. Like I'm sure he wasn't like that in real life. I'm sure he was far less gothic and ridiculous, but that would be really fun. I think Mary Shelley. Oh Jesus, I would love to have lunch with Mary Shelley, the original goth girl. Yeah, I mean the OG. Definitely. Yeah, actually, no. What am I talking about? It'd be Mary Shelley. I'd want to sit across with her and be like, "Give me the goths. What's going on with Percy, mate? What's the house with Lord Byron? Tell me everything." And she'd be like, "This is my lover's heart that's been calcified." And I'd be like, "Oh, you're so cool." Yeah, no, probably Mary Shelley. I've got a lot of friends that are mental goth girls. To be fair, Lizzie, if you're listening.
Bo?
What is your favorite book to movie adaptation?
Book to movie adaptation. Ooh. Okay. Y'all ever seen The Lorax?
Yes.
Yep.
I really love The Lorax a lot. I saw it at the cinema and I cried. I thought it was fantastic. And I'm a huge Dr. Seuss fan. I've got another Dr. Seuss tattoo as well, like big fan. And I just thought it was brilliant. And who is it? Is it Danny DeVito that does the voice of the Lorax who speaks to the trees? What casting? What a guy! Like I love him probably more than I love most people. So The Lorax is definitely up there. Really love The Hours as well. I thought that was spectacular. Very mixed feelings about Clockwork Orange, but The Shining. Oh my god! Stephen King, I think, disagreed with me, but The Shining is incredible, and I saw it recently at the cinema with my flatmate Sophie Sherman, the goat. So yeah, those three, I think they're up there.
I like it. What about where's somewhere you want to visit?
Where do I want to visit? Oh God, everywhere. I don't know. I mean, I want to go to one of the Caribbean sort of islands, or kind of like Central America-ish, where it's like beautiful and beachy. I want to be like chilling out in Haiti for a little while, or knocking about in Hawaii. I do this thing called Wordle, which is like Wordle but with the countries, and I do that every morning and then like Google the place and imagine I was on holiday there. So yeah, and the ones where I'm always like, God, I wish I was there, are always the kind of Caribbean islands, like just in between South and North America. So that area, ideally.
Very cool. What about a literary world that you want to visit?
Oh, you know what? I was just reading 100 Years of Solitude. Why not Macondo?
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be cool. That kind of like, and also it kind of fits in with that I want to be in the middle of North and South America, that kind of vibe. But yeah, I think that would be cool. That kind of like strange, hidden, isolated magic place.
Very cool. Bo?
What is your Starbucks order or your coffee shop order?
I'm pretty basic, to be honest. I'll have an Americano with some milk, or if I'm feeling fancy, a chai latte.
Ooh.
That's it.
See, I'm all about the dirty chai lattes. Dirty
Sure.
chai lattes. Throw some caffeine, more caffeine in there. More coffee. It's a thing. It's a thing. What is if you could be any mythical or fantastical creature, what would you be and why?
Any mythical or fantastical creature. Give me a second to think about this one, and I'm gonna regret it as soon as I say it as well. I don't want to be a mermaid because I'm not that good at swimming. I don't know if I want to be a centaur. I think that would be bizarre. Maybe a dragon?
I have a hard time getting to a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Somebody said centaurs once to me, and this is the thing about centaurs, like they're beautiful, and the way they're represented, they're just absolutely sort of epic creatures. But you have the human torso, which is going to range somewhere between 2 to 3.5, 4 feet, right? If you cut us off at the waist, I would be 3 feet off of a horse body. That's going to be huge. There aren't doorways. You're not going up places. Like, you're not doing any dungeon crawling, or you're not going into necessarily a lot of taverns, because you're not going to fit through the fucking door and under the ceilings. Like, this is a thing to think about.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I get in a pub? I can't get in a pub. I'm not interested in being that creature.
Okay, so we've agreed not centaur. I have no idea. I don't know. I think probably I would think of something. I'll think of something brilliant and ironic as soon as this podcast ends. But for the moment, I mean, maybe something like a kind of Medusa-esque Greek creature, like a Scylla and Charybdis kind of like vengeful thing. I don't know. I just can't think. Sod it. I'll be a unicorn. Why not?
Okay.
I'm a bisexual woman. I'm already a unicorn in many communities. It's fine.
Very cool. Bo?
Is there a quote from a book or a poem that has resonated with you and like stuck with you?
Yeah. So I mean, I've got many tattoos. So on my arm, I have "Kid, you'll move mountains," which is a Dr. Seuss quote that resonated a lot for me. On my back, I have "It's history, it's poetry," which is the Catcher in the Rye line about how people may not always understand you, but they've always left a record of the things that they didn't understand, so it could resonate with people. I think my all-time favorite literary line, and it's very cliche and overused, but I love it, is "Everything was beautiful and nothing hurt." Like that's one of those sentences that's enough to make you tear up out of context. You know, Slaughterhouse-Five, Kurt Vonnegut. So yeah, that one's pretty good for me. I don't know. I know, of course, a million flooding my head that I want to say, but yeah, that's great.
If you could pick any character in any novel's book to lead their life, but you have to lead everything in their life, who would you choose?
Oh, well, I've got to think of a book with very little conflict, really. You know what? I'm gonna say Eat, Pray, Love. Just because if I get to go to Italy and eat loads of pizza, and then go to India and do loads of yoga, and then go to Indonesia and have great sex for a little while, I can do that. I'll handle the divorce, which isn't even really in the book. It's only like a bit at the beginning before she goes on this fantastic rediscovery journey. So why not? Yeah. And her publisher's paid for all of that, by the way. Like I'll just like hit them up, my tiny independent publishers. Do you want to just send me around the world? I'll write you a really mediocre book about it. Sorry, I'm pissed. I've got pissed already. Shit.
That's welcome to the podcast. I couldn't remember my exit on the last one. Go for it.
What is your desert island book?
Catch
One
22
book.
by Joseph Heller.
Oh.
No, I've got to say a different one, haven't I? I can't just say my favorite book. The one that I'd have when I'm stuck on a desert island. Oh,
Yeah.
so many people. How to Build a Boat has got to be up there, hasn't it? Desert island. book. Right. Tell you what, because it's the only way that I'm ever going to read it, Ulysses. It's the only chance you're ever going to get of me actually finishing Ulysses is if you stick me on a desert island. So I might as well use the opportunity. Why not? No, actually, I go for something like a suitable boy, something that's massive, so that it keep me going. Like, I thought of Ulysses, but actually, a suitable boy is much more readable and far more entertaining. So I'll go with that.
What is your favorite tropes? Like when you're reading a book, what are some of your favorite tropes?
I love this person's really objectively good looking, but we're pretending they're ugly. I think that's really funny. I love that in like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where like what's his name? Mac anyway. He's like married to Dee in real life, but they spend half the show going on about how hideous and terrible she is, even though she's one of the most beautiful people in the world. I can't remember, is it The Other Guys, that ridiculous comedy film where he's like, I'm gonna go home to my plain wife, and she's like a beautiful model. I think that's like, as a comedy tropes go, that's one of my favorites. I love proud queer pulls awkward straight woman into dance floor. I love there's so many. I love angsty hard boy is soft for the soft one. Like all of this stuff. Like, I wish I wasn't a sucker for it. I wish I was above it all, but I'm not. I love it.
I like it too. What about what is a trope you don't like?
A trope I don't like. Oh, I tell you what drives me mad. You didn't realize you needed this, but I realized you needed this, and that's why I did it for you anyway. Now, fuck that, it's control, man. I don't like it. I don't like that sort of stuff. And it happens a lot in horror at the moment, because, I watch a lot of horror, especially horror to do with mutilation. And it's coming up over and over again. This, to make it a twist, it's for the literary purposes of making a proper twist, where they go, look, I've done this awful, unforgivable thing to you, but it was for your own good, and soon you'll realize it. They do it in The Perfection, when she manipulates a woman, drugs and manipulates a woman, so she chops off her own hand. But then they team up because she did it for her own good. Like,
have you seen the movie The Menu yet?
I love The Menu. I thought that was fantastic. Yeah,
I thought that was such a great twist on that exact thing that you said when she does the hamburger thing.
Oh, that was brilliant. Yeah.
That's a twist on somebody doing that exact thing.
Yeah, and it's fully deserved as well, because it was just, all of these people are ludicrous, hateful, pretentious people that have ruined the art of cooking, and it seems like she was the only one that understood it, as just like this random sex worker that's been swept up in it undeservedly. It was God, such a gorgeous film, so funny and ironic. The only thing I couldn't help thinking though is oh my God, Anna Taylor-Joy. She's never had a hamburger in her life. Look at her. She's absolutely gorgeous. She weighs all of 6 stone. No way is she eating hamburgers. But yeah, no, it was a great film.
Very true. Okay, Bo, guess what you get?
The final question.
Yeah, make it good.
Every time she goes, Bo, all the questions just come out of my brain, and I have nothing.
I think it's hysterical because she has all these questions, and then I go, Bo.
I have a whole list. There's a whole list here, and I forget all of them. How do you deal with writer's block?
Just do it anyway. Yeah. Like just sitting in front of a keyboard and a blank screen and going, this is shit. I am writing shit. This is awful. I have to reach my word count. And then eventually, like, the shit clears and you end up with something that's not shit. And then when you go back and edit it, you just delete all that shit. But you've written your way out of it in a way. Just do it anyway. I mean, the amount of stories I've started and not finished because I didn't have an idea going into them, and I didn't have an idea halfway through, and nothing materialized, and it was just crap. But it's fine, because at least I got out of it in a way, just doing that sort of stuff. And if you can't do that, if you don't have the time to do that, read. Jesus, read all the time. Writers should be reading more than they write. I think there's so many smug, arrogant writers that think their work is brilliant and everyone should read it, but don't take the time to read anyone else's work. And just read all the time, as much as you can, as diverse as you can. So many voices, and like a lot of them really deserve to be heard.
Very cool. Shameless self-promotion time.
Oh yeah, I've got books in that. I've got this book called Cheeky Bloody Articles. It's available to buy on the internet if you Google it. Lots of places, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all that. I've got a new book coming out called I'm Marvel. You should get that. Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Scruff Bucket Ragamuffin. Read all the stuff that's on my website if you'd like to. Come to poetry events in Norwich. I'll probably be there.
And very cool. You've been so much fun to have on this podcast.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry.
I said thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you again for having me. Honestly, it's been really fun.
Very cool. Guys, this has been Drinking with Authors, the Literary Briefs edition, and at least two of the three of us on this podcast are pretty drunk right now. Or pissed, as they say in the UK. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And
review.
Whatever. I've been Erica Lance. My co-host has been Bo Lake, trying to help me remember what I'm actually supposed to say. Our guest has been Kathleen Davies, and we will see you next time.